Have you ever thought the following strange thought? It's probably one that might have crossed your mind sometime during childhood. What is so bad about prison? Think about our current life situation. Every single day you have to get up and go to work, even sometimes in circumstances that you don't enjoy. You have to comply with the rigid structures of society, all for what? Just so that you can put some food on your table, that you can have a roof over your head, and you can pay the bills if you're lucky. It's a tough life. Now think about a convict in prison. Every day, 3 meals are provided for him daily. He doesn't need to think about a roof over his head, he has one. And he doesn't need to think about paying the bills because there are no bills. So what's so bad about being in prison? The answer, of course, is obvious. There's perhaps nothing more of a punishment to a human being than being restricted. In this week's parsha, the Torah tells us that the Kohen Gadol was obligated to live in the Beis HaMikdash. Even his home, the Rambam says, was very close to the Beis HaMikdash, and it was there that he stayed his entire duration of time, all the years that he was a Kohen Gadol. The Rambam even adds, V'hitif aratoi, the fact that the Kohen Gadol stayed put is his splendor and his glory. It's something praiseworthy about him. But then the question, of course, is, what's so good about that? The Kohen Gadol must have felt like a prisoner, because as we said before, we need to be able to move around. We want to be able to go places. We don't want to be confined to stay put in one place. How could it have been something special for the Kohen Gadol? Rav Simcho Stanton tells us the following powerful idea, and he bases it on a very cryptic Maimah Chazal. Chazal tell us that Adam HaRishon, before he sinned and ate from the tree of knowledge, had tremendous proportions. His width was misoifa oilam bad soifa. He was as wide from one end of the world to the other. And his height was mina oretz ad l'rakia. His height was from the ground all the way to the sky. Chazal then tell us that after he sinned, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, so to speak, was macked in him. He shrunk him into normal dimensions. Now, whatever the Gemara is trying to tell us, Rav Pinkus says is a powerful idea. A human being by nature craves to be huge. We crave to be misoifa oilam vad soifa. We crave to be from one end of the world to the other, to explore and to travel. We also want to go to the sky, we want to go to the moon, we want to travel up to space. We want to be big. And yet, says Rav Pinkus, it's been shrunk. We're not able to do it. We're not able to go where we want. Says Rav Pinkus, a person now can experience that in different ways. He can expand physically, as we've mentioned, or he can expand spiritually. He says the tiferes of the Kohen Gadol, the glory and the splendor of the Kohen Gadol, was that he didn't crave to expand in a physical sense across the world and explore everything. For him, he was able to stay put in one location because the Kohen Gadol was aware that he was in the holiest place on earth. In the holiest place on earth, you're connecting all the way to the divine. You're connecting up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to infinity itself. And that's a tremendous sense of expansion. He wasn't interested in expanding horizontally and physically. For him, his expansion came when he connected to the divine.